everyone, welcome back to another video here on Breaking Bagels. Today we are going to be talking about the good, the meh, and the trash aspects of Kowakujo. Now I gotta warn you, there's a lot more good than there is like bad or anything else. We're not glazers, I swear, but it's just like a map. Anyways, to start off, we're going to go with the storyline. The storyline in this map is actually really impressive. I think it's by far the best storytelling in any map so far of Modern Zombies, at least to me. I could be wrong, but I just think they did an incredible job with getting me invested into who killed Takio's father and everything else like that. Every other map I've been like kind of iffy on collecting intel and stuff like that, but for this map I actually want to listen to the intel, and there's a piece of dialogue that actually explains how the cat was actually entered into the map and like why it's talking and how it's a one weapon and stuff. So storyline is a very, very good aspect. I hope they keep this up because it also ties into the Easter egg, which Jack will touch on in a second, but I think they did a phenomenal job with the story, and the way they involve the guards and stuff is a very, very smart and like kind of intricate way to deal with the Easter egg and the storyline.
Yeah, it's funny. You actually took my segue, because I was going to say that, Easter egg goes along with the storyline, and the Easter egg kind of uses the storyline, right, to give it its own kind of pull. And this Easter egg on this map is very strong. Some of them are pretty tedious, and unfortunately the steps got leaked. Pretty unfortunate. They probably would have taken a long time to complete this Easter egg. This map, you could definitely tell they took a lot more time and a lot more attention to detail to the Easter egg, because the steps are much more intricate, like Nick mentioned, and they really add a lot to the character of the map. And I will say, we'll talk about the mini boss and the boss fight later as well. The characters within the Easter egg that you learn about, and kind of, using the information and the evidence that you collect along the way to kind of finally solve the murder of Takio's father. And by the way, it changes every game, changes every map. You have a different way that Takio's dad died. You had a different accomplice. It's very dynamic and it changes every game. And I believe the Easter egg is really, really good. I think we all kind of agreed on that. It's the highlight of this map.
I'll say it makes the map a lot more replayable, because like Shadows of Evil with the perk machines and stuff like that's randomized, but with the Easter egg I don't think there's really been something like that where it's just like the same about every time. Like sometimes you might get the same one, but that's pretty rare. But I will give this map a lot of props for that. It's very unique every time you do it, and it's kind of fun as well. So
yeah, and even with the ghost man trap, when you're doing the step when you're trying to find who murdered Takio's father, I think when I first thought about it, it was kind of annoying when you go around the map and each one you have to get 20 zombie kills and find a different trap. There's like 4 of them around the map. I think at first that was kind of annoying, but it's actually kind of cool because once again it makes everything a little different, and it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere in this map is incredible. It's the best we've seen in a really long time. First of all, the color scheme, I'm really happy they utilized like the full extent of the color scheme, because they use a lot of the town's natural colors and were able to like cinch off the roofs and mix the burning buildings with flowing lava. I really like the most how they captured like a still map in motion. A lot of those aspects were complemented by like the flowing lava and certain segments of the map like getting covered with like burning ash, which I thought was a little annoying at first, but I think it actually adds a lot to the map, especially when you're going around the Easter egg. It adds like an extra like obstacle. The volcano erupting in the distance and like being able to see the whole thing when you're gliding down with fast travel, that's another thing we'll talk about later on, but it's just an absolutely beautiful map. Also, a little touch that I liked a lot was like still seeing some of the citizens being attacked by the zombies when you open up the map more, but yeah, I like the atmosphere a lot in this map.
Next, we want to touch on wonder weapons. Yes, we love this wonder weapon. For 2 reasons mainly, for at least for me. It's pretty fucking good until like round maybe 55, which is unfortunate. But for the Easter egg, if you're doing it regularly, it's actually like really, really good, especially against the dragon boss. And not to mention, it's a cat. Like, it is so unique, and it's just such a cool design for them to do. I remember when Jack and I found out, we thought it was fake. Like, we're like, oh, this isn't real. There's no way it could be a cat. And little do we fucking know, bro. There it is. It's so cool. The thing that pisses me off is about the wonder weapon. People are like getting mad that it's a cat. Like, you're acting like you weren't putting your fist up an alien's ass 10 years ago in Shadows of Evil, right? Like, that's just such a stupid thing to complain about. And they even explain, like, in the game, like I mentioned earlier, with the storyline, like why it's there and how like it's supposed to be there and stuff. And then Treyarch even put out a little Wikipedia page about it to learn more. And I think they did a really good job with it. It also includes the Mark II and ray gun, so you can also get that. I do appreciate how if you build the one weapon, it is now in the box, because a lot of the maps in modern history didn't have that. So I do appreciate that touch of the one weapon.
Harry touched on this a little bit earlier with the atmosphere, but the fast travel, you take a kite. There's a couple of kite fast travels. It's a really dynamic feature. It's really cool. It's actually used for one of the Easter egg steps. You have to grab the mask. You have to like pull right, grab the mask on the top of the roof, and I think that was really cool, incorporating the fast travel within the Easter egg. And to be honest, a lot of maps kind of in Modern Zombies, you use like just the regular teleportation, like you just find the portal and just teleport to a set spot like location, and it kind of after a little bit gets, at least in my opinion, a little like tiring. Using a kite and flying in the air and using airstreams, and it's actually also a way to get points as well. There's essence, so you can fly and get some essence too, so to make money back for buying the 500 point fast travel. I just think it's really cool, and it adds a new dimension to the map, and which is cool. So that's all I got for fast travel.
Yeah, let me talk a bit about boss fight. I really like the boss fight. I don't have many complaints. I feel like they fixed a lot of the issues from the past maps in like BO6 and earlier on in BO7. One of those issues was that the boss had way too much goddamn health. This one did not. I feel like the boss fight took like a perfect amount of time. I think it took us like 10 to 15 minutes.
It was somewhere around there, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the dragon was super sick, and I like the mechanic of like capturing zones and being immune to the zombies. Like the lava that he'd shoot at you, I feel like it was hard to avoid at times, but it didn't do enough damage to But then again, they give you flags from the Onis to capture and sit in, so it's not a huge setback at all. But that's all I got for the boss fight.
Next up on the list for good about the map is traps. I think the traps themselves, like the damage they do, like how often they kill zombies, isn't like phenomenal or like broken, but I do like how they're free and they're like pretty much in every area. I think it's awesome. And like we mentioned this earlier, how those interact with the Easter egg, and Jack kind of like didn't mention this. Okay. I like how the map, like every feature about it has something to do with the Easter egg, like maps that incorporate the gameplay itself, like Kowakujo, for example, my favorite map. Like every gameplay aspect about that map is incorporated into the Easter egg. You just play the game and then you're just, it's pretty, seamless. And this also has no order either. It's the same thing as Kowakujo, which is probably why I like it so much, because you can just go seamlessly throughout the Easter egg. But the traps themselves, like I said, to get back on topic, they're really unique and cool. We've never seen like something like that, so that's another plus for this map and uniqueness. And like it was just so cool, and like they just fit the map aesthetically as well, and they're very, very useful. And the TED tasks with them are pretty easy, so there's that.
Another good aspect of the map that we kind of all were in agreement upon is definitely the fissures around the map. It's time and round based, and it's really cool because it makes you move around the map and makes you not train in one spot for too long, because it'll literally kick you out and it will drain your health and literally kill you. Yeah, it's kind of like Origins as well. That's kind of the main example I kind of pull on with the robots kind of coming in the church, the middle, and then spawn, and then also the generators, right? Adding elements to the map that make you move around so that you aren't stationary the whole time, and once again incorporated into the Easter egg. When you get the pouch, you got to get the volcanic ash. Using every single element of the map to go towards the Easter egg, that's another example, and that's why the fissures are really cool too.
And a small part of the map that I really appreciated were the trees. I like how it had functionality with the speed boost and the health boost, and also added a lot to the atmosphere with the coloring, and it works its way nicely into the Easter egg as well, and it has great color and adds a lot to the map and the functionality and the training in the middle area, so you can then just go in circles endlessly training a zombie. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the trees.
The side Easter eggs on this map are also incredible. Not only do they have max ammo, double points, and stuff like that, you can get a free ray gun one weapon for riding a rock outside of the map and doing this parkour thing, which is a World at War Easter egg because it props up the little things from the campaign, which is really, really neat, and I do appreciate things like that. Everyone can do it as well. It's not just limited to one person. Every player in the game can actually get that. So that is like a super, super big positive for me, because you don't have to waste a wonder bar or like your points and stuff. You can just get a ray gun one weapon pretty quickly and easily, so that's very, very awesome.
Going along with the side Easter egg, Tom Kane's side Easter egg in the middle tree, so rest in peace Kane, before I kind of explain the the side Easter egg, but you essentially crouch and then you look up at the cherry blossom, and then it plays, I think, a minute or 2 minute long song, kind of in honor of him and its quotes. And it also has his engraving of T and the K at the base of the tree, which is a really nice and fitting touch, and it's very wholesome. And R.I.P. Tom Kane. Great scenery and map layout. I mean, we've already kind of touched on this with kind of the atmosphere, but the map is just has such great scenery. Just having the volcanoes in the background, having the lava kind of surrounding you and almost like entrapping you in this kind of in this village, and the map layout is great. At first, we were kind of, Nick and I think we were talking about it. We were kind of like on the fence about the map layout. We were like, I don't know, it's okay, but very friendly for full parties or solo parties. There's a lot of training spots, and the map is very open, and it's a good time.
And the last thing we have on our list of good aspects is enemy design. Something I always appreciate is when the zombies are not hard to see with the map in the background. I don't know if anyone else has had this issue with like a couple of the maps, but sometimes the zombies themselves are like hard to like distinguish in the background. But the mini bosses themselves and the Onis are super well made. They're intimidating and dark, but you can still like make out the details that go well with the theme of the map. And the dragon is so sick. It's like the whole thing is like deteriorating and on fire. Everything looks like it's burning and on fire alongside the town in the lava. And it's super sick.
Now we're finally on the mess. So the things we thought were kind of, okay, but not like too bad, to the point where we're like, this kind of ruins the map. But the map is like super glitchy with the power-ups. If you notice, like you go to like, I think actually around 30 might be the cutoff. The power-ups just don't spawn. I don't know why that's a thing. Last night Harry and I got to like, I think it was around 50, and there was no power-ups. Harry had no money, he had no armor, no ammo, nothing. We couldn't get any ammo drops, armor drops, so if you're doing the Easter egg, it's not game breaking, so that's kind of why I put it in meh. But if you're a high rounder, I would definitely put this in the bad tier, and it needs to be fixed like immediately, because that's very, very upsetting.
On to the next thing that we put in the meh category is the flag step in the Easter egg, specifically that step. It's not necessarily like an absolutely horrible step. I really like the idea behind it. It's one of the last steps you have to do. You have to go punch a clock, you have to look at the dial, and it'll give you 4 numbers, and then you got to match up the order of the 4 numbers with markings on the map. You basically have to either add up 2 flags to get the numerical value, or you just get 1 flag and place it on the correct pedestal podium. And then you basically have to do that 3 more times. You have to get the numbers correct. You have to go back to the clock, punch it. If it's correct, it gives you a medallion. If you're not, you have to flip it to the next round. The step itself is pretty cool, but it's kind of annoying as well, just because of the fact that if you fuck it up, you have to go to the next round. Sometimes it's also kind of hard to like find where all the flags are, so you're like running around aimlessly, like Nick and I had to do when we were doing the first Easter egg. We were like, where the fuck is the last flag? Why isn't it adding? But we eventually found it, but it's kind of annoying in that way. It's tedious. And then also, in order to get the actual process to get the flags into the correct room, you need to do a lockdown step on the next round after you punch the clock. So it's kind of annoying in that way, but it's not super terrible. So that's why we kind of put it in meh.
Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the mini boss fight. Now, as for the story, it's of course really important. It leads into the final boss, and it's like the defeat of the Shogun's curse, and it allows the story to develop and climax. But the boss fight itself is so anticlimactic. The main issue is just the health. The mini boss dies within seconds using the wonder weapon. If you're pack to even like pack 2, it dies so fast. And I feel like if they just gave it more health, it would allow you to appreciate the attacks more and the character, and it'd be more rewarding too after doing the whole Easter egg and getting to this step. But it's just so anticlimactic how fast he dies, and you just kind of transitioned into the boss fight. But that's my main issue with the mini boss. Otherwise, it's meh. It's just meh.
This is going to be the last part of our meh category, and that is the scale of the map is a little bit small for what is actually shown when you're playing. Like, for example, how you could do the parkour to those like burning houses. I wish there were like some houses that were kind of like surviving, I don't know, like at a stone or something. It just looks like there's a lot more playable areas than there is. Like, I remember when Noah J was hunting the Easter egg, that's Jack's dad, he was trying to go into like different rooms that were like right next to the map, but you couldn't because they blocked it off. And like that, there's one room on the roof specifically where he tried to drive an RCXD in, and I think you should be able to play in there and like run through it because it's pretty texturized. It looks good. It's pretty cool. You know, just stuff like that. Like they really cut out like some of the cool parts of the map as well, which kind of upsets me. And a thing that I'm going to touch on as well is not to take and copy and paste from Kowakujo or anything, but I wish we could have something like that where you go to the volcano to pack a punch. Although I do like the world seed and how the katana goes into the story like around the map. It's really dope, but I just think something like that would have been really cool if we could go to the volcano more often. It would make it like more of a immersive facet of the map, in my opinion. Like I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I just think the volcanoes were kind of underutilized, and that's like another like kind of, it's not a game breaking problem to me. Obviously, it's just kind of annoying. So that's why it's a meh.
Alright,
now that we're done with meh, we're going to move on to the first item in the bad list, which is the Onis. The Onis, to me, at least like during the Easter egg, weren't the worst. You can kill them pretty fast using the Wonder Weapon, but later in high rounds, it becomes really annoying because it just takes so much damage to kill them off, and they spawn so frequently later on. They kind of just get in the way. At first, they're kind of cool. They're kind of a cool obstacle to deal with in the early rounds, but when you're just trying to complete the Easter egg steps and then they randomly spawn and start beating your ass out of nowhere or charge up to you, it's a lot to deal with. And it's really just a nuisance. It kind of takes away from the experience of the map. So yeah, it'd be so much better if they just spawned less frequently and were more of a threat when they did spawn.
And before I kind of talk about the water bucket, I just want to quickly mention too, the Onis are fast as fuck, dude.
They are.
They are just like ridiculously fast
as
for
fuck,
yeah, that's also annoying. I had this gripe specifically for me, so I'm gonna talk about it. The fucking water buckets, dude. What the fuck? They're horrible. They're absolutely atrocious. The like getting them is easy enough, but you have to do it for getting the gardener zombie, the special zombie for the Easter egg. You have to use it once. By the way, why the fuck did they not make the water buckets more utilized? They're only used once, and you have to use them for the stupid ass gardening step. You have to find 3 weeds in the ground.
It's better than growing a bullet out of a fucking plant, to be fair. It is,
think
bro.
so? I don't
it is. Well, because this is guaranteed. The bullet's a fucking chance.
This is the kicker, though. When you're running around on Zetsubo, the water isn't spilling out of the fucking bucket. You can use it 3 times, and it's fine. In this map, you have to walk at a snail's pace. You literally cannot even jog. The water will fall out of your bucket when you normally jog without
That's
stamina.
Stupid.
And not only that, to do the gardener step to and from the fucking water, where you get the water, put the water in the bucket, it's all the way across the map. You can only do 2 out of the 3 when you get there, so then you have to walk all the way back. You have to fill up another water bucket, walk at a snail's pace again, then get the last freaking weed part, because 2 of the weed parts are on one side of the lava fissure in that section of the map where Wisp T is, and then the other one is on the other side. So you physically cannot do the step without jumping, running, or getting in lava, which, by the way, getting in lava spills your entire bucket. So yeah, that's a big no-no for me. That's terrible.
Last thing I'm going to add in is kind of a picky detail. It's the armor wall buy locations. They're super awkward. They're like on complete opposite ends of the map, and they're super like out of the way. One's near spawn near Melee Macchiato, and it's kind of like hidden away. And the other one is up near Wonder Fizz, which you have to get to by going up the stairs all the way like on the opposite side of the map, and then coming all the way back around, and then jumping out the side of the wall. And only then you have to take a left down the hallway, and then there it is. It's so out of the way. I feel like armor buy locations should not be so hard to get to as you're going throughout the map. It's like one of those things that you just want to be able to have easy access to and upgrade while you're going throughout the Easter egg or surviving high rounds, etc. That really bothered me. It's kind of a picky detail, but I don't know, it's just like, it was so off-putting. It was one of the only things I had like an actual hard time locating.
Onto the next bad thing we have on the list is rates. Nick kind of already mentioned this, so I'm gonna keep this kind of short. But yeah, just the ammo and the armor drop rates are really bad on this map. Literally, I remember like having a horde of zombies on like round 28, and I got 1 thing of armor. On round 28, 1 plate of armor is and no ammo. We already mentioned that too. Literally no ammo. Your shit runs out of ammo so fast, you gotta use the fucking ammo buy, and especially if you're on a later round with PAP 2 or PAP 3, that shit's expensive, so it just kind of doesn't make sense, and they need to up the drop rates, but that's all I'm gonna say about that one.
The last and least bad and thing we have to do in this video to talk about is the TED task challenges. These are, I feel like in every location, they're always the same. Like in the onsen baths, it's always just stay there and just capture the area. Sometimes it'll give you PhD flopper, but I think Harry and I have only got that once. I haven't got that any other time. And then the lava one specifically, near Wisp's Tea, is horrendous. It's like near impossible to get. I swear to God. I don't know if anyone else is like struggling with that. You know, I saw a couple streamers struggle with that, and it's hard to get them to stand in the middle because you can't throw equipment or anything to attract them there. If you throw a decoy, it gets melted. You throw a monkey, same thing, and same with like Casimirs and stuff. So it's really, really disappointing that the TED test challenges are so bad, and they don't spawn either, like ever. It's like every 15 rounds. So it's really hard to get perma perks and stuff. But I think is that it? Is that all I need to say?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys for watching. That's all the good, the mid, and the trash aspects of Kowakujo. If you guys have any disagreements or thoughts on what we said, please let us know in the comments. Dislike or like, I don't really give a shit. I mean, I do, but I don't care. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. Bye.